Senegal heads to the polls on March 24th. Voters will be choosing a successor to President Macky Sall, who is not seeking a third term. For the first time in the nation's history, the incumbent is not on the ballot. So who are some of the main contenders? Prime Minister Amadou Ba has been handpicked by Sall as the ruling Benabok Yakar coalition's candidate after a party-wide consultation process. Sall said at the time Ba would be a unifying figure, but analysts say there are divisions within the BBY, which lost key cities in the 2022 local elections and a number of seats in the 2023 legislative election. Some members worry that Ba has never contested a presidential election, while most of his main opponents have. Khalifa Abubakar Sall, unrelated to the president, served as mayor of the capital Dakar from 2009 to 2018. He is one of President Sall's chief political rivals. In 2018, he was sentenced to 5 years in jail for embezzling about $3 million in public funds, preventing him from contesting the February 2019 presidential election. President Sall pardoned him in September that year. Veteran politician Idrissa Seck served as prime minister from 2002 to 2004 under former President Abdoulaye Wade. He was sacked over embezzlement allegations and spent some months in jail before his case was dismissed. In 2006, he founded his own party and challenged Wade in 2007, finishing second. Seck placed second in the 2019 presidential race with 21% of the vote, after which his party joined the ruling BBY coalition with President Sall. Mohamed Boun Abdallah Dionne was President Sall's third prime minister from 2014 to 2019. He was seen as one of the front runners in the race to succeed Sall within the BBY coalition. He announced his candidacy in September 2023 and launched his own coalition days after Sall elected Ba as the candidate for the ruling coalition.
Senegal.
Entrepreneur and a political newcomer Anta Babacar Nnom launched the Alternative for the Next Generation of Citizens political movement in August 2023. She was until recently the executive director of Sedima, a leading poultry production group in the region founded by her father. She joined forces with around a dozen opposition candidates in February to fight the postponement of the presidential election when Sall issued a shock decree to delay it.
Whether I win the election or not, this government in place will go down.
Bassirou Faye is running in place of jailed Senegalese opposition firebrand Ousmane Sonko, who was disqualified over a defamation conviction. Members of Sonko's dissolved PASTEF party and other parties formed a coalition and named Faye in November as a backup candidate. Sonko later called for his supporters to vote for Faye. Faye is currently in detention, facing charges including defamation and contempt of court. He remains eligible because there has been no ruling yet against him. Late Lord Perenganda is a direct descendant of a victim that was massacred by German colonial forces in Namibia more than a century ago. His community is calling for fresh talks with Berlin to negotiate the return of ancestral land after German forces seized more than a century ago.
Without land, you are nothing. So I think we must first focus on the land that our ancestral land must be returned back,
Germany agreed in May 2021 to fund projects worth $1.2 billion over 30 years to make up for the property seizures and killings by German colonial forces between 1904 and 1908 after the tribes rebelled against German rule. Germany also apologized for its role in the slaughter, officially describing the massacre of some 65,000 Herero and 10,000 Nama people as genocide for the first time. But critics have said Germany should not have directed its apology to the Namibian state. It did not exist at the time of the genocide and had no mandate to speak to Germany on behalf of traditional Herero and Nama authorities. Mashunde Kashua is the leader of affection of the Ova Herero Traditional Authority.
Germany must come to a table, discuss with us, negotiate with Hereros and Namas, and together we agree on what is appropriate to repair the damage it has caused. to the Hereros and Namas, wherever they are at the moment.
The communities also argue that the issue of land ownership was not addressed in a 2021 joint declaration, noting that ancestral land taken by German forces has not been returned. Harold Hecht is the chairman of the Forum of German-Speaking Namibians. He said the joint declaration was subject to ratification by the Namibian parliament, but the process has been put on hold as the two governments discuss amending the document.
There is at least an offer on the table, and in the absence of anything else, I think we need to support it.
At the moment, white people make up 5% of Namibia's population, but control more than 70% of prime agricultural land. The Foreign Ministry in Berlin did not immediately respond to a request for comment.